You are listening to the Novel Writing Podcast, episode 115. Grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Today's episode is about what I call decision pivots. If you are like literally everyone else listening to this podcast, you have probably made a decision that you ended up regretting, but then felt like you couldn't go back on it for whatever reason. The reasons for your second thoughts don't actually matter, just that you have them. It could be with the direction you took your story, the decision to pitch a book to an agent but you're 2 years in and no dice, or the decision to abandon a story in order to chase a new shiny idea that manifested in a dream last week. Again, the regretted decision itself doesn't matter. But what does is this perception that we are forever locked into the decisions we make, in the thought that if we stop doing the things that we have been doing since making those decisions, then we must be unreliable. I'm calling bull. I won't say the rest of that word because there may be younger ears listening, but suffice to say that the thought that we have to keep doing the things that we decided on a year ago, a month ago, or a day ago, that thought is a fallacy. A specific fallacy, actually, called the sunk cost fallacy. It's the idea that we put greater importance on the things we are already doing because of the time we've invested in doing them. I'll do a full episode on sunk cost fallacy in a few weeks. The further down the wrong path you go, the farther away you get from the actual goal that you want. Just because you keep walking doesn't mean you're on the right path. That's where decision pivots come in. Decision pivots are the permission to redecide your decisions, or to pivot and make different ones. New ones that actually take you closer to your goals. Decision pivots take you off the wrong path and onto the right one, whatever wrong and right mean to you. Let's say you're writing the opening chapter of your novel, and for whatever reason, it's just not working. You've always wanted to start this book with this character's POV, but the more you try to get chapter 1 right, the more you wonder if you made a mistake, and then immediately shove that thought into the deep recesses of your noggin, where it can fester and make snarky comments in the seconds before you're supposed to fall asleep. Now, if that sounds oddly specific, welcome to my experience with chapter 1 of my first book, Mark of Stars. It originally started with what is now chapter 2, and it wasn't until my final draft that I swapped the chapters and made what is now chapter 1 be where I started the book, with my main character's brother's point of view. Changing to Luke's point of view for chapter 1 of Mark of Stars instead of Emma's point of view made the book work. It puts the reader right in the action from the opening pages, and I've heard from so many readers that the first chapter is what grabbed them. The original first chapter wouldn't have grabbed me, and I'm the one who wrote it. That decision pivot saved the book. Now, I want to make something very clear. Decision pivots are not going back on your word, even if it's your word to yourself. Every decision we make is our best guess with the information available at that time. And as we go down the road, we learn new information that by nature changes what may be the quote-unquote best decision. Decision pivots allow us to change direction without feeling like a failure. Ultimately, this journey is not about doing things perfectly right the first time. That never happens. The point is to find the best path for you, for me, for all of us, and that by nature is going to vary between people. So even if you're taking advice from seasoned writers, if you find that something they suggest doesn't work for you, make a pivot and find something else that does. The sunk cost fallacy is a fallacy because it's more wasteful to continue pursuing decisions that no longer serve us than it is to consider the time already spent as time invested in learning what doesn't work. So if something in your life, whether writing related or not, isn't working, go forth and make some decision pivots. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me, and remember, the first draft is supposed to be garbage. Thanks for listening to the Novel Writing Podcast. If you're ready to stop struggling and start finishing your novel, check out the 60-Day Novel Writing Challenge. It's a step-by-step program designed for solo writers to complete their first draft with clarity and focus. Visit the link in the description to learn more.